So, this is Carl, my $400 Volvo. You might remember this car from previous videos I've made. Carl here has a 2.9 liter inline six. As you may have also seen in one of my previous videos, it's nothing special. But Carl doesn't want to run anymore. It's really tragic. But my plan is, if you can see in here, you probably can't. That's a boot. And that's the intake. And I have a carburetor. Are you catching what I'm smelling? Smelling what I'm stepping in? What's this phrase again? Anyway. But yeah, Carl, the B6 203, whatever engine this is, 2.9 hunk of crap, can't hold any power. But boy, does she not care about staying into limiter. So, what I'm going to do is remove all of this, keep the throttle body for a throttle position sensor, plug off all the vacuum lines, whatnot, and make just like a little manifold. And I'm going to go shopping to see what options I have to make that manifold are. But I'm just going to make a manifold right there so I can see the carburetor. And the carburetor I have chosen is a Weber 3236. Single accelerator pump, really simple carb. It just happened to calculate to be right around the CFM I needed for this engine. And in terms of ignition, I'm going to ditch all of the ignition coils because that's how responsible I am. And I'm just going to run a standard AMC distributor off of a 4.2 AMC. And the way I'm going to run it, you're just going to have to see how I do it, because I don't even know how I'm going to do it yet. But as a true builder knows, you don't know what the fuck you're doing until it's done. Or at least that's just me. But anyway, let's go to Lowe's. No e-brake as well. That's why I need a cameraman. Bumped into the fence. There's no damage to the fence. Whoop! So, as you can see, I am now 8 feet tall. And I'm about to die. Okay, I was standing on top of a dirt bike. Not the most safe thing to do. It's in the garage now. Now, I don't want this whole thing to be nothing but a big, long build series, but I'll have nits bits in here. I'll try to make kind of like a collage, whatever you want to call it. It's fast forward, but not, you get the point. It'll make sense whenever it's edited and you're watching it, because you wouldn't have to bother about it. But this is my B63 blah 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 inline 6 2.9 liter piece of crap. It doesn't run, as you could probably tell from the beginning of the video. And if only I would get in the habit of recording absolutely everything I did, because the three-wheeler here, just outside of camera, hogged this 4,000-pound behemoth up a hill into this garage. It was pretty much me standing on the wheelie bar, or I don't know what's called a wheelie bar, but the rear bumper, and pretty much just all the way up the hill. And you can see my lines all the way up. So there's the general layout. You saw it out in the field. Now all there's left to do is make it happen. There's only one thing left to do, and one thing only, and that is to start taking this whole girl apart. Yeah. That's pretty much it. Anybody need a idle air control valve? I'll sell it to you for $400. Actually, nobody cares about the disassembly anyway. So, okay, so, it took like 10 minutes. I really wish I would have recorded that, because that big old thing came out way too easy. Now, all I'm doing is just mocking it up. You get the point, these two, the 490s and the two straights. And the carburetor, funny enough, here's the throttle linkage. It just clips right on there. So I may need to make another one of these or adjust it to have a shorter throw. But there's that. And then that will go something. I don't know if you can see it or not. We'll go something right there. It's actually quite comically easy. Who knows? I probably will be welding that up by the end of the day today. And what I'm going to do for the transmission is I'm going to try to have the throttle body, which is still on there. Actually, where's the throttle position sensor at? I could probably probably make something up, but I want to have the throttle position sensor in that general area. I don't know, probably make an adapter, but I need to have the throttle position sensors. I'm going to attempt to make the transmission still work with the stock TCM. And it won't be very happy without a throttle position sensor, because with that, it gets an idea on what you're doing, so it can determine the load amount that it's enduring. So I'm going to try to do that. If not, then it will just be a matter of opening up a diagram, wiring diagram of the transmission circuitry, and devise some sort of way to make paddle shifters through an Arduino Uno to control the valve body on the transmission. Because it's an electronic controlled transmission, it'll still have reverse, park, la-di-da, but I'm just saying when you put it in drive, I'm going to try to devise a way to make it have paddle shifters, which would be baller. And but first, gotta get it running. I'm pretty confident it's going to run. Yeah. And I'm also noticing that I'm not going to have a lot of room for the hood. So I'm probably just going to take the hood off and show the whole world my carburetor. It's pretty much halfway done right now. I'm excited to drive this thing, and I don't even care. I'm almost straight up run the gas tank, bungee cord to the roof, in true shitbox fashion, just to feed the carburetor some fuel. Because this poor little inline 6 will not live long enough to do this job right. So, gas tank, whenever it's all said and done, got the intake, got the distributor set up, and bass adjustment, I guess, a good starting adjustment. It's always good to look that up. It made tuning a Volkswagen Beetle so much easier looking up the bass program, I guess, or the bass tune, or whatever you want to call it, the bass adjustment. So I'm going to do that, and I'm going to take the first spark plug out so I can find top dead center of cylinder number 1. This would be fun if I had a cameraman or someone else to do this with, but you know, life goes on. Why was that so easy? You saw that, right? Anybody need a nice Volvo 960 airbox? It'll be right here on my table. Actually, no, fuck that. It'll be right here on the stool. My hair's a mess, and there you have it. Now, there's no carburetor holes yet, there's no bolt holes yet, but that's so that I can fill it up with water. After it cools down, this thing's hot. But after it's cooled down, then I can fill it with water and let it sit and see if it leaks. And then if it doesn't, then I'll go ahead and splash some brake clean in there, just because brake clean is thinner than water, and see if I have any vacuum leaks at all, or any leaks in general. I feel it. My fear is I'll have some leaks like here and here, which would be pretty much worst case scenario. But if it doesn't, fantastic. God bless. In terms of over here, I'm probably going to. Come on, maybe not that one. Oh, they don't want to leave now. Yeah, they're just feel stuck. I'm going to try to find something else to plug all the injector holes. But yeah, all I need to do now is retrofit the PCV fitting right there. I'm just going to cut this and do a doodad, which means I need to weld a bung somewhere, or thread a bung. I'll probably thread a bung just because I'm tired of welding. Oh, speaking of welding, I'll need to weld some tabs for the throttle cable. I'm going to have this here kind of tipped up just a little bit. Just so that I can reuse that whole doodad, the whole throttle cable assembly. And if not, oh well. life goes on another day. Because I don't really need cruise control. This car's going to be a wide open throttle regardless, so I may not worry about it. It's just a regular... I may not worry about it. I'll probably just go right to it, because on the carburetor side, it's got a... kinda. It's got kind of a doodad. Because this carburetor is set up for like duals. I'll play with it. I'll have to play with the throttle linkages. I'll have to figure all that out. Main thing is I need to get a carburetor spacer or adapter or plate, whatever. If it's a plate, I'm going to weld it. But I need to get a plate or an adapter or whatever. It's an adapter. I'm just going to thread it into the steel so that I can mount this to that. The fuel will be on this side. The throttle cable will be towards the inner of the engine, just like it was before on that throttle body setup. And I need to weld some tabs here and there. I need to tap in a PCV fitting. I need to tap in some form of PCV. It'll probably be a Subaru PCV. Just because. And I'll need to thread in a few vacuum line things. I'll just do that on the back of here so I can have my vacuum lines hooked up. Main vacuum lines I need. It's quite the storm outside if you can't hear. But main vacuum lines is HVAC. Whatever this is down here. Oh, it's for the vacuum canister. I probably won't have that. Might will. Because I have this, that. I need to order some parts. So it won't be a few days until you get to see the distributor setup. Because right now, I don't have the distributor. The distributor's over there on the 3-wheeler. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I hope you guys enjoyed these videos, depending on which way I take it. And, yeah, go ahead and like the video, subscribe to see more Volvo content. This inline 6, if it runs, it is going to live through hell. It is not going to live an easy life. So, I'll see y'all later.
On a daily basis, I consume enough drugs to sedate Manhattan, Long Island, and Queens.